Good morning, everybody. If you can hear me out there, give me a little thumbs up so I know that you can hear me. Thumbs up, anybody? There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you, Veronica. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's July 14th, 2023. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. If anybody has any good news to share, we'll then have everybody put in their 30-second introductions. And for those that are here in the room, we'll do our 30-second introductions live. We'll then hear about the practice interview team, the interview success workshop, the career tip of the week, and then our main event right at the top of the hour. For those people on Zoom, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just put them in the chat window. For those on Facebook, thank you for joining us this morning. If you have any questions, please just put those in the comment field. We are monitoring that feed and we'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader, one of many leaders we've had over the years, landed a job and said who wanted to take over, and somehow I got selected. So I've been doing this since 2007. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org. And if anybody's been there this week, you probably see it looking a little bit different as we've relaunched Career USA with a little bit new format, sort of the same, but a little bit new, a little bit different fonts. Hopefully everything's working on the site. If something doesn't work, please let me know so I can get it updated and fixed. I'm having weekly meetings with the computer person, computer programmer to make sure everything's up and running. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search that you may not know. It is available on Amazon, or you're welcome. If you see me, I always have copies with me in person. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. And you'll hear more about that in just a moment. Well, we'd like to start the meeting off with good news, successes. Do we have any landings out there? Anybody have good news they would like to share? Going once, going twice. I didn't get any emails this week. Everybody was on July 4th break, I guess. All right, well, we'll move on here. Okay, what we'd love for everybody to do now is in the chat window, please put, for those who are on Zoom and Facebook, please put in your name, comma, phone number, comma, email address, comma, position you're looking for, comma, 2 or 3 target companies, and then hit the return key. For those on Facebook, I will delete that information immediately after this meeting's over, so it won't be hanging out there forever and ever. We do this for a couple reasons. One, we want everybody to help everybody else who's on the call. Number 2, this is a great way to connect with other people who are on the session today. Number 3, I'll use this to update the roster. Everybody who's here today will get a copy of the roster. The roster's got 3 pages. The first page is everybody who's active. The second page are those people who've landed since 2006 or 7. So it's a real long list of alumni who've been out there. And then the third page are those people we've lost contact with. If we haven't heard from you in over 90 days, you're on the lost contact page. So please go ahead and put that in the chat window right now. And I'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started here. All right, thank you. If you're still typing away, please continue to go ahead and continue to do that. All right, you know what? For some reason, I don't have the slide here to introduce everybody who's here in person. So let me flip over so we can see you. Give me just a second here. Spotlight for everybody. There you go. So Gemma, you want to start for us?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Jama Ball. I'm a business operations leader with global experience transforming processes and performance. I'm also a Gallup trained strengths coach. I enjoy creating order out of chaos. I am looking for connections with Blue Cross Blue Shield and Highgate Hotels this week. My name is Jama Ball.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Bill Park. I'm a senior environmental manager. My strength probably is I have diverse environmental experience in both consulting and industry, but I'm looking for a job more in industry as probably a senior environmental manager and environmental auditor. Target companies, I've recently sent out applications to Lockheed Martin, and I've interviewed once with Gulfstream. Again, my name is Bill Park.
Great.
Good morning. My name is Jesus Quintero. I am from Venezuela, a petroleum engineer. I'm trying to break in tech right now. I work as a data engineer, a reservoir engineer, and I just finished 2 programs in cyber right now. Take the CISA, I passed the CISA, and I'm taking right now for cloud. So I'm just trying to break in tech and anything related with cyber and cloud. Thank you.
Okay. Any target companies?
So right now, I'm just thinking in Deloitte's a big company, all the US and other tech companies, and Amazon. Some of them they have the cloud, so I'm focused on AWS right now. So
Okay.
thank you.
Good. And you can't be seen over there, so that's okay.
Okay, that's okay.
You're just outside the viewing range.
My name is Denise Croy. I am a medical and scientific liaison for diagnostic companies. I have been both an individual contributor as well as a team leader. I'm just new and searching. I'm currently interviewing with a company called Exact Sciences up in Wisconsin, and my name is Denise Croy.
Great. Thank you very, very much. All right. That covers everybody. And just flip that off. That'd be great. Thank you. All right. Well, just 2 websites. Oh, I guess I need to update this slide now that the Career USA website's been updated. But if you know somebody who's unemployed, somebody recently unemployed, please let them know about Career DFW, careerusa.org. 2 totally free websites. They're just here to help you with your job search. We don't collect any personal information. We're just here to help you. So if there's anybody you know who's unemployed, please let them know about the resources that are out there. Also, one of the things you'll find on the Career DFW website is a group of calendars. And on those calendars has, well, everything that's going on in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we hope. If you happen to know something that's not on there, please let me know so I can update it. Everybody doesn't tell me about everything that's happening, but when I find these things out, I do it. All the pink events you see on there are job fairs that are coming up. The gold events or special workshops that are happening. Blue are those events that are meeting in person, and the purple are those events that are meeting online. So there's something going on, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, every day of the week. All right, let me talk a second about the practice interview team. Remember, your LinkedIn profile, your resume is not going to get you a job. What it will get you is a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills, that's what's going to get you your next job. So reach out to the Dallas Pit Crew. It's totally free. This is a great way to practice your interviewing skills. They are meeting online, so you can do a Zoom online interview Monday through Friday. If you want to do a practice interview in person, they are doing those on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And that is in person right here at Christ United Methodist Church, the same place we're meeting today. You can just come and watch somebody being interviewed on that Wednesday when they're meeting in person. So what they want you to do is please send a resume and a job description. Well, I don't have a job description right now. Well, just if you happen to see one out on the internet, just get anything that you see and go, that would be a good job. I should practice on that. Send in your resume. And this is a great opportunity for you to practice your interviewing skills. You just send it to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, circled right there in red. Their motto is practice early, practice often. You probably need to practice 3 to 5 times to make this really work. Just coming and watching doesn't necessarily, you'll learn things, but it's not necessarily as good as interviewing. You'll be interviewed by a panel interview of 2 to 3 people. It'll be about a 45-minute interview. After that, there'll be 15 or 20 minutes of feedback. You don't get feedback when you go to a real interview. So this is the great opportunity for you to practice your interviewing skills in a safe, quiet, they're all here to help you, and they're going to ask you tough questions. So it's really a good thing. If you've been a hiring manager and you'd like to participate and be part of the practice interview team, also just send an email to dallaspickrue@gmail.com and let them know that you've been a hiring manager and you'd love to help them out on their online sessions or in person. If you want more information, just go to dallaspickrue.com. Walt's not here with us right now, so we will get back to Walt in just a second. Let's see here. Rosanna, are you with us this morning? Let's see here. Is she here? There she is. Rosanna, hello. Need to unmute your mic. Well, she may not be with us yet. Rosanna, hello, hello, hello. Come on.
Sorry about that, Jeff.
There we go.
Good morning.
Morning. So Rosanna's going to read a career tip of the week. We didn't have a new career tip of the week this week just because the Career USA website was getting rebuilt and launched in the middle of the week. But Rosanna is going to pick a favorite one of hers.
I'm not going to say it's favorite, but it is a good one. All right. So this particular career tip of the week is dated March the 27th of 2022, and it's success statements that show employers how you added value at work. Now, this article is written by Joel Garfinkel. And so basically, the process of creating success statements is to craft short pitches that accurately and positively portray the value you bring to your organization. These statements effectively highlight your skill set to those above you. And in the presentation, reputations are built on perception. He discusses the process of creating your success statements and the importance of both practicing and continually refining what you need to say. You need to be ready when the opportunity arises. So start documenting your success statements today. Write a file on your computer, cloud, or even your phone if it will help you to get it ready regularly. And you can download a blank copy of he has an accomplishment template as well that you can use. So here are some tips on how to take your success statements to the next level. First, you want to demonstrate an ability to get results. You may need to prepare a few success statements to use, and depending on your audience, you want to think about the senior leadership you might have an opportunity to talk to and what sort of results they would consider the most compelling. Create your success statements to match their interest. So some of the questions would be, do your success statements focus on the bottom line? Talk about revenue lines or margins that you've increased or operational costs you and your team have helped to reduce. Are they tuned in to the workforce at your organization? Do they highlight your people management skills, team dynamic, improvement interdepartmental relations, or increased employee retention? And know a certain process in a pain point for one executive. Do they mention that your ways that you've worked towards streamlining or reducing havoc in an area of the business? So just make sure you address those questions in your success statements. Next, you want to demonstrate executive level communication skills. Having coached thousands of senior leaders over the past 2 decades, he can tell you that they're looking for a leadership talent, or what they're looking for in leadership talent. They're looking for that spark, the desire to connect with others that they themselves bring to the table. You don't have to be a dynamic extrovert to share a keen ability to communicate. Top leaders are seeking a certain executive presence that demonstrates poise and gravitas, a calm and a confident way of landing in the moment with both the ability to listen and the skill and knowledge to make a decision. Highlight your ability to speak clearly and with confidence in any situation. And they're not looking for a know-it-all, they're looking for a weather-it-all, someone who can wade into chaos and help bring order and reassurance to the team no matter what the turmoil. Next, you want to demonstrate a team mindset. This brings me to another key element of the success statement, team mindset. More and more organizations have realized that great leaders aren't necessarily the ones who speak the loudest or speak up first, unless they are also doing so in service to their team. Great leaders know how to support their team, remove barriers, share praise, highlight accomplishments, and generally help everyone to do their best job possible. The era of big personalities fixated on personal glory and attention is fading into history. If you want to be considered for promotions in the modern landscape, you need to cultivate and demonstrate a team mindset. And lastly, demonstrate critical thinking. If you have great ideas on how to increase sales or improve in efficiency, be sure to create clear and succinct pitches that you know they'll use in the moment to share your thoughts with leadership. Executives are looking for ingenious, motivated individuals eager to make a difference. If you know the ways the company could achieve more, it's critical to organize your thoughts so they can be efficiently conveyed. Working and refining may be even more necessary for these types of success statements, because you'll want to be sure your message is clear and easily understood. It can be challenging to dive into talking about yourself, but I hope these suggestions will set you on a solid path to designing and refining your success statements. Remember that self-promotion is key to getting ahead, even when you have the best track record and great advocates speaking for you. Get used to making the most of every opportunity that you have to demonstrate your value to your organization. It will be the key to your next project or promotion. Again, this is the Career Tip of the Week, and it's dated March the 27th of 2022, and its success statements show employers how you've added value to work. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend.
Rosanna, thank you very, very much. And just, remember, we've got tips all the way back to 2009. So you can go back and you can read any of them that you like. I have my favorite tips that are listed there. But we'll have all new tips starting this Saturday afternoon. I've already got everything loaded for the month of July, the next 3 weeks. So there'll be new tips. Be like those V8 moments. You read it and go, wow, why didn't I think about doing that? All right, Rosanna, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Let's come back up. Let's see here. It's not, there we go. Whoop, where we go. Yep, right here. Walt will talk about the Interview Success Workshop.
Well, good morning, everyone. You are looking and listening to the CEO, President, and Vice President of Operations, IT, and Marketing. We do not have a VP of Sales. And why is that? Because in the Interview Success Workshop, it is free. There's no bills to come along to pay for the services that I offer. So what are the services that I offer in the workshop? Well, first of all, it's very informal. It's a learning workshop. It's not a mock interview. And what are we trying to learn? We're trying to learn how to sell ourselves. And that means who we are, what we do, and how we can help. And along with that, we want to positively differentiate ourselves from other candidates. You need to be registered to attend. Only do 1 or 2 people at a time. And there's a QR code on the screen that will start an email to me to my Yahoo email address. And you'll ask for some availability, and I'll send back some dates to get you registered. Look me up on my LinkedIn page. There's my Yahoo address and my phone number right on the landing page. And the About section gives you more details about the workshop. We'll be glad to have you come. It's not a hot seat. You don't have to sweat. You don't have to fear making mistakes. Put your learning hat on and let's have some fun while we're learning how to increase our skills and confidence for successful hiring interviews. I call it learning without squirming. Online interviews have exploded, particularly since there was COVID. The workshop provides interviewing decoded, and our landings will soon be noted.
Thank you very much, Walt. All right, give me a second here to, let's do this, and let me get the slides back to where we need to be here. All right, today, come join us for lunch. Everybody has to eat lunch, even if you're not here in person. For those people who are online, come join us for lunch today, 11:45. We're gonna go to Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road in Plano. It's the northwest corner of Parker at Independence. They've got burgers, salad, chicken sandwiches, whatever, and more. If you'd like to get this sandwich you see off to the left here, I had them price it out about a year ago, and it was like $33, but you have to bring your own sliced ham. They don't have ham. So if you're interested, that's you could get something similar to that. All right. Our main event in just a couple of minutes is Dr. Glen Earl will be with us to talk about the 5 stages of grief in job search. Losing your job is a lot like losing your loved one. It's not quite the same, but you still need to get through all 5 stages to really to be a good candidate for the next job. And so Glenn will be with us in just a moment. Upcoming sessions next Friday, PJ Dunn will be with us to talk about stress less, live more while on the job search track. And then on the 28th, how your social media presence may be used in hiring. And that's with Carol McCulloch. She's actually been part of this group for many, many weeks. I see her out there. She's from the New Jersey area, and she'll be presenting on that subject here at the end of the month. All right, let me see. Is Glenn with us? Let's see there. Yep, there's Glenn. Let me get you here.
Hello, I think I'm with you.
Okay, very good. So Glenn, thank you for being with us. Glenn's been, well, back when he lived in Dallas, I mean, he's back in the DFW area now. Back when he lived in Dallas, he lived about 5 minutes from here. And when he was, I met Glenn back in 2000, well, the mid 2000s, I guess. He was twice. And so he knows exactly where we are. He's sat right where you've sat before. So Glenn, thank you for being with us. I'll let you tell more about your background and give me a second to get the slide deck up.
Okay. So just a little bit about myself. I'm an organizational psychologist. Currently, I work for University of Texas, Arlington in their OD department. And like Jeff said, I lived in the Plano area for 15 years. And where you're sitting, I not only sat there once, I sat there probably at least twice, at least 3 times. So I understand what that's like from an experiential standpoint. So I know what you're going through. I've been through it. Everyone's going to come out positive on the other side. However, sometimes the journey is a little bit tough. So that's why I developed this presentation, is to help people deal with some of the tough issues of when they lose their job. Okay. Are we ready for the slides? Can we make them bigger? I can't read it.
Yeah, no, that's the first slide deck is up. The first slide's up full screen for everybody here, for everybody online.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's possible so I could see it, or do I want to read from my notes?
I big as I can make it.
Okay. So let's go ahead. I have the information right in front of me. So,
okay.
So I'll take off my glasses. Okay, let's get started. So let's talk about the 5 stages of grief when you lose your job. Excuse me. This was built as presentation based on the famous Elizabeth Kubler-Ross book. It was written in 1969 on death and dying. And there's 5 stages of grief that everyone goes through. Most often it was related to dying, but any sort of loss that you experience, you're going to go through this either profoundly or mildly. So the first stage is denial, then anger, then bargaining, then depression, and then acceptance. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one of those. And I'd like to make the presentation, and then at the end, if you have questions and comments, we can have a conversation. So as you all know, that when people lose their job, it's a huge sense of loss. And some of the things that we lose that are an issue for us is our income, our identity, our sense of purpose, our friendships, the direction that we have, and oftentimes respect. I'm not sure of your experience. I know of my experience that less so today, but back in the past, if you were unemployed, that was seen like bad, and that somehow if someone interacted with you, they would catch it. So that's an area that we'll talk about. First, we're going to talk about denial. Denial is the first stage of grief. And here's the important thing, that all of these are critically important that we go through and that we address. Unfortunately, people can get stuck in one of these 5 areas. And what we want to do is to be able to move through them appropriately. And at the end, be on the other side and being mentally and emotionally feeling better. So denial is critical to our survival. So everyone has a sense of denial at first, and it's built into our human psyche so that we can survive. At this stage, the world can become meaningless. It can be overwhelming. Life makes no sense. It's like, why in the heck did I go to school for X number of years? Why did I work for ABC company for 20 years and now I'm not working? What's the whole point of this? Excuse me. When we are in a state of denial, we're also in a state of shock. We literally, physically and emotionally and mentally become numb. So here's some tips around denial, how to deal with it. So people are going to ask you why you left your last job, whether it's a formal interview, it's an informational interview, or your buddy that you hang out with. The wrong answer is, I was laid off and they're going to call me back. Not all, but most workers have a fantasy that they'll be called back to work, that somehow they're going to realize that there was a mistake made and you're going to come back. One of the most dangerous things mentally and emotionally that you could do is that you deny your laid off status to your family, your friends, and yourself. I've worked with people throughout my career that I'm talking about a man, a friend of mine, who did not tell his wife that he was unemployed. He would get up every morning and be gone for 8 hours a day, come back, and here was the sad, dangerous thing. They spent living expenses like he was still employed, and it nearly ruined them financially and their marriage. Now, the positive thing, his ship was righted and things worked out. So it's important for you to be upfront and admit to yourself and your family and friends that you're laid off. And the thing is, you want to go out and tell people. because they will activate their network to help you. So here's just some information about anger, which is the next one. Anger is necessary. We want to be willing to feel your anger. The more that you're able to feel your anger and deal with it, the quicker you're going to be able to dissipate it and you're going to heal. Oftentimes people feel that anger is inappropriate. It's an honest emotion. It's an emotion of human beings. We all get angry. And to deny it, repress it, suppress anger, it always comes out and it'll come out in a different way. So you want to literally just kind of bring it up and deal with it in a positive manner. It could be by yourself. It could be with your friends. The truth is, anger has no limits. It can extend to your family, your medical team, yourself, and to God. You can be angry with just about everything and everyone as a result of losing your job or becoming unemployed. So here's some tips. During interviews, you want to stay positive. That's why you want to practice interviews in the mirror with your friends, with a coach. And here at this group is an excellent way to practice, because you need to work through any sort of emotional angst that you may have or may come out. And this is a line that I like that someone else said: employers do not hire bitter. So we can all tell when someone's upset, they're bitter, they make negative side comments, or sometimes it's just out in the open. So you want to be able to appropriately work through that anger so you can have good conversations with respect to obtaining your next position. And it's all right to be angry with God. He or she, or however you express that, God can take it. So it's all right to be angry with God. While we often talk about anger, there's one underlying emotion that's even deeper than that, and is that we are hurt. We are hurt that we are laid off. We actually believed that we had more meaning to the organization and to people at work. And that didn't turn out that way. So that's why we're hurt, is because we recognized we were not as important to that organization as we had believed. Next, we're going to talk about bargaining. It's often not seen very much. Oftentimes, to striking a deal with God or however you believe, you want and here's the bargaining. We have many different stages, and we bargain about different things. So the first thing we try and do is we bargain with God, the universe, our life situation, that our life can return the way it was. We want our job restored. We want to go back in time. And the reality, that's not happening. We're not going back in time. Things aren't going to be restored. So how do we deal with that? So when you bargain, you remain in the past. You try to negotiate your way out of hurt. You cannot negotiate your way out of hurt. You have to feel it. You have to express it. You have to deal with it. So we may not be able to see it by show of hands, but how many of you have felt some sense of relief when you were laid off? And I am raising my hand. There have been jobs when we have been laid off and we're hurt, we're angry, we're upset. And as we walk out the door, we think, oh my goodness, I'm glad I don't work there anymore. So we've all had jobs like that, yeah, we want a job. However, we didn't want that job. That's where it comes from. It's, yeah, I want the job, but I don't want one I had. That's why even when we're laid off, oftentimes, in my experience, most of the time, we have some sense of relief. Then let's talk about depression for a moment. Depression is when you feel empty inside, and it's grief that is at a deeper level. It's important. This is very important to understand that when you're depressed with a job loss, it is not a sign of mental illness. It is depression is a very appropriate response to a job loss. And here's my professional assessment as a psychologist, that when people are laid off, they're without a job, everyone becomes clinically depressed. The vast majority of people, it's for a short period of time and we're able to work through it. So depression is natural, normal, and it's something that we're going to experience. It's important to understand that. You'll work through your depression. You'll get through it. And it's natural and normal. Also, oftentimes, and here's the challenge, is that when people are depressed, people want to withdraw from life. And in a job loss, that's the absolute opposite behavior you want to engage in. You want to engage fully with life and in life to be able to get a new job, get a new career. Now, when dealing with depression, oftentimes you yourself and other people may see it as unnatural, a state to be fixed, and something to snap out of. Now, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but I want you to reflect on this. For those who have a past or present significant other, oftentimes that significant other at some point in time is not your ally. And that's why you never want your significant other, your partner, to be your job coach and job buddy, because they have too much emotional attachment. And sometimes your partner, will expect you to snap out of it. Sometimes society says, snap out of it. Could be your friends, could be your siblings who they all have a job and you don't. But you don't snap out of depression. That's such a folly. So the best way to get through depression is be depressed. And sometimes you just want to sit in your bedroom or your living room. The lights are off, the shades are closed, and you're eating chocolate. Sometimes that's the best thing to do to deal with depression. Now, this is why it's so critically important. And I'm just going to kind of read this because I think it's important. Nothing screams, don't hire me, like someone dragging into an interview, staring at the feet, hair not combed, clothes rumpled, mumbling answers to questions. Generally, that doesn't happen. However, you could have an attitude and a behavior of depression that people can see in your physical, your body language, oftentimes. And how do we deflate depression, or how do we delete depression? So there's lots of research and experience. Is the very fact of getting out and doing exercise, it greatly increases, exercise of any type greatly increases the endorphins into your body, and that helps elevate your mood and helps you get out of depression. Now, the reality is depressed people don't want to move. They want to sit and eat chocolate and pet their cat or dog, and they don't want to do anything, and they don't want to vacuum the rug. So, and I'm not saying vacuum the rug, I'm saying get out of the house and do some form of exercising, even if it's just walking around the block. And they've shown that this 20, 30 minutes of exercise, as easy as walking, helps elevate your mood and pulls you out of a depression. So if you're feeling depressed in any particular day, you may have a gym membership. You could do that, or just getting out and walking or doing something form of exercise. Most of you are familiar with mindful meditation. If you're not, look it up. I find that's very positive. It could be types of music. It could be affirmations. It could be meditation. All of those help bring you out of a depression. Reading good books. It could be a professional development book. It could be a spiritual book. Anything that has a positive note, a positive message, a positive mission. Read one of those books. That helps draw you out. It helps you recognize that other people have had challenging times, and this is how they overcome them. This is how they've championed out of their adversity. Stay physically active. We've said enough about that. Literally, get out of the house. Do not stay in the house. You want to be with others, supportive friends and family. Now, I'm going to just put a cautionary note. You don't want to be with anyone. You want to be with people who are supportive. And if they're not able to be supportive at this point in time, you don't really want to be with them. Helping others, volunteer. Lots of research and experience shows that people who are in tough situations, if they volunteer, and it's the act of helping other people in just as tough or tougher situations, helps alleviate that depression and helps you gives you a sense of perspective. The perception could be everyone's going through this, or gee, actually there's people who are worse off than me. Either way, the act of volunteering, giving your time, and this is one of the things that I did, and I'm not saying this is what you ought to do. This is what worked for me. When you're looking for a job, it's a full-time job. And so as you may or may not know, I have that job chart and doing activities. So one of the things is you want to give time throughout the week. And the week to me is 6 days a week, even on Saturday, or at least 5 days a week. That one, you're being actively involved in lots of activities to be actively engaged. Next is you're out of the house, you're doing things for other people, and just by that, it helps pull you out of the depression. So there's lots of opportunities in your neighborhood to volunteer. It could be your local religious community. It could be the actual community. It could be lots of different places that could use your help. Let's go ahead on to the next one, acceptance. So oftentimes people are confused with acceptance as all right or okay. That's not true. The acceptance is the reality that the old job is gone, and here, more importantly, your old life is gone. You, by nature of the situation, are literally forced to create a new life. And that is darn tough. Back in the old days, people would work for a place for 30 years, 40 years, retire. When I lived in Plano, when I was part of this group, I was talking with someone in my in human resources at one of the big Fortune 100 companies there. And he looked at my resume and he said, well, I see you've had a lot of different jobs. Well, I said, I was laid off. And then I said, and then I look at your job. You've been there 30 years. You only know one thing. So, and I'm not saying get laid off to have the experience. I'm just saying that this person did not have a this person had never been laid off his entire career. He had one job right out of college, been there 30 years. And so he literally did not have the empathy. He did not have the understanding. He did not have the perception to understand what I had gone through and was going through at the time. So just be mindful of those situations. Those folks aren't going to be helpful. So who you're working with is important. We want to acknowledge the past without the negative feelings. We all have negative feelings when we're laid off, we're fired, we're told to move on. So the key of your success is that you can work through those negative feelings, the hurt and the anger, and then move on and through that. And so you're able to talk about it without the undertone of any negative feelings. So here's the thing, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge. The reality is human beings are not very good at making transitions. We just don't do it very well. Organizations don't do it very well. People don't do it very well. It's hard. So here's the thing. You are being asked to make a transition that you didn't choose to make. And so one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do, to consider, is make this an adventure, make this an interesting journey, find the joy in that somewhere, somehow. Begin to find and locate those positive things that you are experiencing, learning, and adapting through this new reality, because you are literally creating new norms for your life. You will never be the same as a result of this. Your life will never be the same as a result of that. You are forever changed. You must adjust and renegotiate and reorganize for a new life. Now, sometimes people say, well, you get laid off, just get a new one. Well, that's not the way it works. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So here's how you deal with the acceptance. You have to know how to explain being laid off. You have to rehearse it. You have to have a job coach. You want to say it. You want to say it over and over. Say it in front of the mirror. Say it with your job coach. Say it with a friend. You want to be able to, in a few sentences, articulate in a non-emotional, objective manner of why you were laid off as best as you can. Here's some questions you want to ask yourself as you go through this process. What did I accomplish? What did I achieve? What did I get done? This is like in your job, you're reviewing that, and this is a springboard in preparation as you move forward. What are you most proud of in your past work experiences? What did you learn about yourself? What new skills did you learn? And how did you help yourself grow and learn? And I'll say it somewhere else, but I'm going to say it right here. At the end of your unemployment and you get a new job, if the only thing out of this experience is a new job, you have really shortchanged yourself. This is a time for reflection, self-reflection, renewal, discovery, and you want to do all of those things in almost every part of your life is to review. So here's another thing. Your home. I highly encourage this. This works very well. I did it 3 times. So I had a sparkless, decluttered home. In your house, when you're unemployed, you want to dig into your closets, your garage, your attic if you have one, of a basement if you have one. You want to declutter your house. You want to get rid of things. You are on a home improvement, a lawn improvement journey. And I find that physical activity works great, and mentally and emotionally to declutter, that's exactly what you need to be doing, because you need to have an uncluttered mind, psyche, to be able to move forward in this new journey, part of which is getting a new job. So let's talk about some mental health factors. So one is work role. That is, in modern society, our job, our career, our job title, we as humans really attach ourselves to that. And we are not that. However, sometimes that becomes us. And so when the job is gone, that whole identity comes crashing down. Then there's social undermining. That's the criticism, negative judgments from spouses, family members, friends, and colleagues. As best as you can, you literally want to stay away from those people. And if you're not able to, you want to mitigate it as much as possible. Now let's look at how to deal with mental health on a more positive note. You want to have a self-evaluation of yourself, what you're completed, what you're competent, what you're successful at. How do you structure your time, how you use time? That's very important. And that, somewhere, somehow, you have positive expectations that you'll soon get new employment. So let's look at acceptance keys. You want to be objective. You want to state the fact that you're without a job, and you want to delete any emotional commentary. Accountability. You have to take ownership for your ownership in your job loss. Here's my personal experience. Here's my professional experience. When you lose your job, most of it has to do with the organization. Then it has to do with your department or the area in which you work. And then part of the reason for your job loss is you. So I encourage people to separate out the vast majority of the reason for the job loss and focus on that portion that you are responsible for. There are things that you said and did, things that you didn't say or didn't do in your job in such a situation that was partially responsible for your job loss. In my professional assessment, it's about 10%. About 10% of their job loss is your responsibility. I don't say fault, but you have a hand in. So I would look at that. What portion, and it's always a very small portion for the reason of the job loss. What did you cause? So you want to look at that and be accountable for that and admit it and be able to deal with it. So those are the things that is a presentation. And just the last thing is you have to take ownership in finding your own job. That's positive, and sometimes it's a challenge. You take partial accountability for job loss, and you want to take a lot of accountability. And the reality is when you get a new position, and the position where I am right now, I've been here a year, so I've been relatively new. Actually, this July is my year anniversary. So I have gone through that whole process a year ago of going through the hiring process, which was an interesting experience. Very positive experience, but very interesting. So that's the presentation. I hope that people have been able to find it valuable. If there's time for a few questions, I'm happy to entertain them. If not, I invite you to contact me later. There's my contact information. Also, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you're welcome to connect with me and just say that, you're part of the North Dallas career group and that you'd like to connect with me. So doesn't have to be, but I just want to, Jeff, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, well, first of all, if anybody online have a question, you're welcome to unmute your mic and ask away. You can just hold down the space bar for those who are online. Anybody here in person, if you want, just grab the mic and ask questions. Yeah, hold on, grab the mic so everybody can hear you. Got a comment here. Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah, in my experience, I had to move from Venezuela to here, and I might pass through all this step because I have to just basically leave my job, my dream job. I worked in there for almost 10 years, a good position, but the whole situation of Venezuela forced me to move. So that's the reason and I've been struggling trying to get back to industry here. And I start with that. I start with volunteer at the church, and I've been very active there. And what I'm doing right now is basically giving some support of them and assisting in the church. But yeah, when you need to get out, so to try to move that emotion that you have, because you feel like you're basically dead. You say, oh, what is all my life? All my career, all my experience. But thank you very much for presentation today. Yeah, I just want to share with you, but even if somebody, if you can go through this process, I think all here present and online, we go through these 5 steps or stages of, because in some point of our life, we lost something very important for us. So thank you very much for this presentation.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for sharing.
I'm going to pop those 5. I think I am. Let's see here. Come on, go. I'm going to try to pop those 5 stages back up. I think, there are a couple of important things that I sort of get out of it. Is number one, your significant other cannot be job coach, partner, or whatever, because like you said, they're in it for a different emotional kind of thing. So you've got to get out of the house. You've got to go meet people. You've got to, talk with other people to be able to do something. And the second point just vanished. Hold on, another comment here.
Thanks, Dr. Earl. That was a great presentation. I really identified with those steps. So for those of us in
Thank
Texas,
you.
I've been using the excuse of the heat to not get out and exercise. And my daughter reminded me, you can walk in the mall.
Yeah.
You can walk in the grocery store. You can walk at Walmart. You can walk at Target. So there are lots of air-conditioned places that you can walk and practice some self-discipline about not purchasing things. But there are ways that you can get out and do some exercise. So thanks for that reminder.
You're welcome. I have become a wall mall walker. I do not like the heat and humidity. And so there's a mall close to my house. And if I'm not able to get there, Walmarts are gigantic. And you can get a mile in just walking around the outside of Walmart. So yeah, walk in the mall. Yeah, you don't have to go outside.
Right. Anybody else? Any comments online? Anything else from anybody? Glenn, are you okay?
Hi, this is Chris.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I do have a comment. I don't know that I have a solution for it totally. But I've noticed in the post-COVID or post-pandemic era that, a lot of groups and social type events are still being held virtually. So I find it very difficult now that I'm an empty nester to find places to interact with people socially. The virtual meetings just don't seem to rise to the same level as in person. So I don't know if you've got any words of wisdom on how to, get that social interaction that was so common pre-pandemic.
I don't know if I have a ready answer. However, I agree with you. I think post-pandemic, and as we get older chronologically, it's a little tougher to find groups to socialize with, be a part of. And I have found for myself that I literally have to go out and find groups to interact with. I don't know if you're familiar with Meetup. That's where I have found lots of groups. I'm a member of a walking group. I'm a member of a over 50 group. I'm a member of a group that does traveling through Meetup. So if you're not familiar with that, take a look at that. However, I have found that I'm way beyond empty nester and senior citizen. And, in most organizations today is you have a great or a good or tolerable work environment. You have good work friends. And at the end of the day, everyone goes their separate ways. You never interact. Jobs back in the day, people would go out and have lunch together. They'd go out and have a beer together or some sort of a social drink. That doesn't happen anymore or happens
Right.
significantly less. And so I would suggest that you take some focused, concentrated effort to find people to interact with, face to face like that. So one of the ways, start with Meetup. And there's lots of different groups and they slice and dice it lots of different ways.
Chris,
So thank you.
Okay.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
where are you located at?
I live in Denton.
Oh, okay. Well, come down and visit us. I mean, visit the North Coast Group on Friday. You go visit Frisco, Frisco Connect meets the first Tuesday of the month. Go visit South Lake. They're there every Thursday. Well, I know it's a long drive, but get out and go see people in person. It makes a big difference. I mean, the people that are here, when we get done after this meeting and we close down the virtual part, we'll sit here for a half hour and we'll find out who everybody is and what they're looking for and who knows where the topic will go to is where we'll really get to meet people. So, I know it's a drive from Denton, but please, come join us. In fact, yesterday, there were 5 of the career group leaders in the DFW area got together going, what can we do to get people out of the house? And what can we do to attract, for a better, what's the next step? What is it that we can do to help each other?
Yep. And I know this is the first career DFW meeting that I've attended, so I just kind of wanted to see what it was like and how it was run. I know Frisco Connect is returning to in person. I think in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they'll be back.
And I did reach out to the South Lake group, but I haven't gotten a response yet.
Yep, they're there every Thursday. They're online or they're also meeting in person. There's a group in Fort Worth that meets if that's easier to get to on Monday mornings. So there are some in-person groups that meet. The big debate's been at what point do we stop doing this virtual stuff and just go back to in-person? Because pre-COVID, here at this, we used to have 40 to 60 people every Friday morning. And you talk about the networking possibilities and what could happen. It was really, really great. So I look forward to getting back to that at some point because I think that'll be a big benefit. Any other comments from anybody?
Hey, Jeff, it's Rosina. I just wanted to mention to Chris and then everybody who's here as well. I just dropped into the chat. Every week I always talk about or put in the chat, there is a group on Thursday nights. It's a networking group. There's a teaching, there's lots of great opportunity to interact and chat. But it's a group that is hosted by Patricia Romboletti. And she does a teaching just like we do here at Career DFW, where each week there's going to be a topic that's taught. And then at the end of the actual workshop, you'll get handouts and resources. And this is every single week. I mean, she only takes off the day before Thanksgiving, the Thursday of Thanksgiving, and then Thursday of the week of Christmas. That's it. We only get 2 weeks off. But basically, she covers a lot of great information. And this is a networking group where you're networking in the chat, just like here. But there's over 650 people on the call, and it's national. So you are interacting with national level of professionals. And it's just across the US. And so with that said, in each state or in each city, now each of those groups have been starting local groups. And so I just want to at least mention that I've put out that if you guys attend at least one Thursday night call, then just reach out to me and I'll make sure you get added to our local DFW group. There's over 50 people that are in it. We're getting ready to have our second happy hour, which will be on July the 24th from 6 to 8. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's in Grandscape for this one. Our last meeting was, or our last happy hour was the weekend of Mother's Day, and we had it in Irving because, again, this is a local DFW group. So there's lots of professionals, executives, I mean, just whoever wants to attend. But I just want to at least let you know there's another opportunity to meet up with professionals who are they're in transition. And so they're either working contracts or doing, anything to enhance their career. But it's another group of professionals that you can meet up and bring your actual business cards to exchange with others. And that way you can connect.
All right, Rosanna, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Rosina.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Well, Glenn, thank you very, very much. Great information. I really, really appreciate what you shared with us today. I think it's really important. I mean, because I've been on the practice interview team since 2017, and you can definitely tell when somebody comes in for a practice interview and they're not quite to the acceptance stage yet. You can just tell that there's something holding out, and knowing to get through the process and what it is, and it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to, you're going to get through these things. Make a big, big difference. So Glenn, thank you very, very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity and wish everyone well on their journey.
Great, thank you. All right, if you have not put your 30-second reductions into the chat window, please do so. We'd love to be able to make sure we get you updated on the roster. Also, I will send out a copy of this presentation. So if you'd like to get a copy of the presentation, I will only do it if I know you were here today. So please put your contact information into the chat window. All right, Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Next Tuesday, Locke Alderson will be with us to talk about how to use LinkedIn for job hunting, strategies to get results. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting in person, live and in person. You'll be able to come watch a practice interview at the Christ United Methodist Church, 3101 Coit Road, the corner of Parker and Coit in Plano. There'll be no online session. The next online session will be on July 26th. This Thursday, being the third Thursday, we'll talk all about effective resumes. If you'd like to, you'll also have an opportunity if you'd like to share your resume. We'll take a look at it online. Primarily, these are going to be how to get your resume set up for the ATS system. That's what we're trying to really focus on so you can get through that. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, click on playlist. I have over 520 videos currently up there. But if you click on playlist, every video that I goes into one of 7 different playlists. If you pick the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speakers, where you see that red circle, just click there for view full playlist. Up will come a list of all the different dates and topics, and you can scroll down and find whatever topic it is you'd like to go back and watch. Just know that all the speakers from the North Dallas group start about 25 to 30 minutes in just because of our preliminary stuff, because I record the entire session. Come join us today for lunch, 11:45 Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road in Plano. We'll be on the northwest corner of Parker and Independence. Burger, salad, chicken, and more. So just come join us for that. And I guess I forgot the slide for next Friday. Join us, and I'll get the email out to everybody much sooner next Friday about what we're doing. So thank you for joining us today, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.